I just needed to chat real quick before bed. Because I keep running into this problem. And I feel like I'm always having this problem. And I know exactly the solution to fix it. The problem is I have all these ideas of videos that I want to make, art that I want to make, parts of this story that I want to write, like ideas constant. And sometimes I'll have like a really good one, you know. I love ideas that like combine things. Like if I want to write a song that's also part of my story, it's like a combo of two things, and that's like when it's a good idea, I'm like, oh yeah, perfect, that's like a juicy idea. I feel like I'm already getting off track, like what am I talking about? But yeah, like, okay, was it last week? No, this was like a couple days ago. I had this idea. No, this was a week ago. This might have even been more than a week ago. I'm telling you, the time that my brain is on, like the clock that my brain runs on, is not in sync with the clock that my body runs on. Come on, guys, get it together. Get a grip. I had this idea to make a YouTube video because I had just, through experimentation in Procreate, like in doing digital art, because like one of my art goals this year, like my main art goal this year was, one, to create as much as possible, to create bad art, cringe art, horrible art, for like just to do something. And let me tell you, that's just the best advice I could have ever given myself, was like make really horrible art, because when I go into a piece of art with thinking this is just gonna be bad, I just don't care, I'm just gonna scribble, that shit always is the best. Like when I'm just like, yeah, whatever, I just have to draw, it looks so good. Then when I go in with like a plan and I'm so like precise and like trying so hard, like the more I'm trying mentally to do something, oh my god. Okay, that's not the point though. The point is, a couple weeks, like, no, this was last week, I discovered, going back to my art goals, because this applies to my art goals. My art goals this year were, besides just doing more, like my goals for actually like conceptually, like content wise, medium wise, I wanted texture and color. That is what I feel like for a very long time my art has, like, those are two areas where my art has really been lacking. And I love super colorful, amazing art. I love all types of art. I don't have just like one aesthetic that I enjoy, nor do I have just one aesthetic that I like to express myself with. But that's beside the point. My goals were texture and color. And I think I have been, like, because that's been in the back of my mind that those are the goals that I'm working towards, I've been a little bit more experimental. I've stepped outside my comfort zone a little bit. And yeah, have created some really cool stuff. And even won an award, bitch. Okay, sorry. I'm very proud of myself for that award. Anyways, texture and color. So, texture and color in combination with like trying less and just doing because it's good for you to do, you know, not because you have a crazy idea or whatever. And I discovered something. I was drawing and I did something that I never did before, which was create one of these shapes that I'm always creating. Like, I like to create these certain shapes. And never before in my life had I done that in Procreate with digital art, adjusted the pressure of my Apple Pen when doing that. Almost always, this is such an issue with me, is I keep consistent pressure. I'm so steady with my line work, like I'm doing a tattoo or something. When really, like, there's a whole world of pressure sensitivity, you know? And I do use it sometimes. If I'm just lightly, or want my lines to be thinner, I will not press as hard, but I'm not varying my pressure within one stroke every single stroke is one pressure. Thick, thin, hard pressure, soft pressure, whatever. I just stick to it. I hardly ever mess with the pressure while I'm making a stroke. And I did that. Like, I don't know, I was just in the zone, you know, channeling and did that. And I was like, oh my gosh, never before have I made one of these shapes that I like in this way. New thing unlocked. Like, artists will understand this, like, when you do something you've never done and you like it and you're like, oh wow, new thing. It's like a new piece of you that gets embedded into your art style now. You know what I'm saying? You guys get it. Anyway, it was really cool. It was a really fascinating discovery, and it was so fascinating because I had been drawing for like 4 days in a row super consistently on Procreate, same size, and they all kind of like looked very similar, and you could clearly see the progression of me discovering this thing, like how one thing led to another. It was just crazy. And then like a couple days later, I was like, oh, what am I gonna do for my next YouTube video? Like, I'm ready to make another YouTube video, but I really just like don't feel like doing any more road trip content. I just like don't care. Like, I did it, it's over with. I want to move on. I don't want to revisit the footage, even though I have like some really good ideas in my road trip footage and my road trip content ideas space in my head, whatever. There's some good ones in there, but like there's better ones elsewhere. Like, I'm just done the road trip. It's over. It's so hard for me to like revisit stuff because I'm telling you, my brain is just shooting away, abandoning all of its ideas in search of the next amazing one. But anyways, I had this idea for a YouTube video. I was like, oh my gosh, why don't I just showcase some of my art and talk about what I'm talking about right now? Like how I discovered something weird in my art and look at it, show it, and do like a drawing, do like a drawing time lapse or something as a video. And I was like, that's such a good idea. That's such a good idea because I really don't put my art on YouTube. Like, and that is such a huge part of me. Like, anyways, I had this idea, thought it was a really good idea, but it was like midnight and I was in bed, lying in bed, awake, trying to fall asleep when I had this idea. And when you have this idea, it fills you with so much the ideal situation is that when you have this genius idea, you can just do it immediately because the idea is fresh and you can just run with it. Like, just follow your intuition, like just follow that idea and see where it leads you and do whatever it takes to satisfy it, you know? That's the ideal situation. But most of the time, it's like I have an idea and I have to write it in my notes app because I'm doing something else. And then the idea starts to get stale, and then eventually you see somebody else do it, and so you're like, okay, we're on to the next thing. And that's so frustrating. And I was just laying there in bed having this idea, and I was like, I wish I could just get up and do it right now, but I have been awake for a really long time. It's time for me to go to bed. I need to go to sleep right now. And maybe I'm just being lazy, but like that just wasn't a good time for an idea. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I had this idea, and then I'm like busy. I'm busy with life. I don't have time to do this idea right now. And by the time that I want to do it or have the time to do it, I've already thought of 3 other ideas, and I have to abandon that one because it's time to go to the next one. And it's frustrating. It's like you never do anything then because your ideas get stale so fast and you only have a limited amount of free time. So if you don't use it on your ideas, your ideas are going to go away eventually. I don't know if I'm explaining what I'm talking about right. But what it reminded me of was this girl that I watch. Her name's Monica on YouTube. Amazing. I'm obsessed with her. I see her on TikTok too sometimes. She was saying that ideas are not special. Like, getting a big idea, like, it happens all the time, easily. And, like, that's so true. Like, that's just so true. Like, I have amazing ideas all the time. That's not like one of the issues that I have in my life, is not being able to come up with something to do or make. No, I've never had that problem. I always know what to do. I always have a juicy, amazing idea. I always have like an amazing project in my imagination. And that's what she was kind of saying in the video, and I totally agree. Oh, I think my sister just came home. Hi, I'm back. It's a different day. But what I was trying to say, if I even remember correctly, I need to rewatch what I said. What I was saying, what the conclusion of that was, basically, is that you need to already be in a position where you are ready to execute an idea as soon as it comes to you. Like, for example, here are two scenarios. Person A lies on the couch and watches TikTok from noon to 3 every day. Is that me? Maybe. Person B dedicates noon to 3. I don't know why I'm choosing a time. This is such a specific hypothetical for no reason. Just go with me. It's fine. Person B, from noon to 3 p.m., they dedicate that time to drawing, making art of any kind, whether it's painting, drawing, digital art, whatever. They're just like, this is my art time. Okay. They both get an idea. A big, juicy, amazing idea that makes so much sense to them, and they resonate with it so heavy, and they're like, oh my gosh, yes, this, I would love to do this. I would love to execute this. Person A is busy on their phone, laying down when they get this idea. Maybe they put their phone down. Maybe they get up after, and they probably write the idea down in their notes app. And to actually execute that idea, it would be a lot of work. Like, they have to transform their situation, you know, they have to go upstairs and get their laptop, or they have to go get their bucket of paints out and start prepping a canvas, or depending on what the idea is, you know, you have to start getting ready to execute the idea. Okay, which is fine. Person B is already there. Person B is already there. They are already sitting there with a pencil in their hand as this idea is coming to them, and they can just go from, oh, I'm just doing my daily practice, to, oh, I can start executing an idea immediately, right now. And just being already in that state to create something is so important. It's so important because it's so true that ideas are not special, you know? They're not special. They're abundant. They're endless. There's an endless supply of amazing things to create. Like, that's like the whole fun part about creating, is you know that you're going to do it for your entire life, and you're never, like, no part of me worries that I'll never know what to do, you know? For some reason, I hate when I say, you know. It just irks me. And I really just judged myself in this moment just now. That's why I laughed, because I was like about to roll my eyes, because I hate when I say that. I don't know why. I don't know why it bugs me. I need to just not care. That's just what I say sometimes, you know? Okay, anyways. Yeah, that's all I was saying. So this is me telling myself, you know, this is my motivation time. And I'm doing this right now. Like, I'm literally drawing right now, which is great. But the more you create, the more you put yourself in a space where you can execute creative ideas, big or small, the more shit you'll be able to get done. Like, duh, you know, it's very obvious. Get the fuck off TikTok. You're not doing anything. You're wasting time on there. Every second you watch a video is a waste. It's never beneficial. I'm sorry. And like, sometimes you can get ideas by watching TikTok, but like, it doesn't even matter. You're stuck. So that idea you get, you might as well just forget it, you know? But I also think, yeah, like, I love, like, okay, I painted for the last 2 days and have just been high on life because of that, because it fills me with so much joy. It's like I could sit here and do this forever. If somebody just brought me my meals, fed me, took care of my life for me, and just let me sit and paint for the rest of my life, sign me up. It's, oh my god, I can't even describe. You're really like channeling. I get into the flow state so easily. That's the thing that gets me immediately into the flow state. I think because like I have to really concentrate. But at the same time, I'm so accepting of paint's flexibility and its refusal to adhere to my plans. So I go in with no plan, and it's just like, I don't do that a lot. It's so great. Anyways, I'm getting off track. I don't know what I was even talking about. But yeah, just put yourself in that position more to execute your amazing ideas. Oh, that's why I was that is like this full circle moment, having this realization, because I recently have been dedicating time specifically to art, like personal projects, silly, you know, making bad art time. And I have had creative ideas hit me while in that flow state, and I'm able to execute it immediately and make something, and be happy that I made something, and be happy that I learned something, because every time you make something, you learn something, you grow a little bit more. That's like, it's the answer to life. I just realized how dirty my room looks, and how drab. This room is so drab, it drives me nuts. But I'm going to paint it green, I think. Lots of projects. Maybe I'll make some, I'm laughing because I already know that I'm not gonna do this. Maybe I will, but I was gonna say maybe I should make some DIY home renovation content. I don't know. Okay. Anyways, that's all I was gonna say. I think during this video I'm gonna put some of my art so people aren't bored. We'll see if that looks good. Thanks for watching.